Hey folks, this is Professor MJ, a university statistics professor. In this video, I'm going to preview the 2020 season for the Washington Redskins. So first, I'm going to break down each position on offense, and then I'm only going to summarize the defense to avoid making a video that's 20 minutes long. However, if you want details about each defensive position as well, you can read my full blog article on my website at professormj.com. Simply go to the free picks section, and if you go to the NFL subsection, you will find my team preview for all NFL 32 clubs. You will find them pretty useful if you are into fantasy football, or if you simply want to be up to date on player movement and teams' strength and weaknesses. So let's get this party started. Prior to the 2019 season, the Redskins were projected to be among the league's worst teams. They matched expectations with a poor 3-13 record. Since 2009, the team has compiled an awful 66-109-1 record, which equates to a 38% winning percentage. The franchise has won just 3 division titles over the past 20 years. Can they turn the corner this year? Let's evaluate their 2020 outlook. It's time to talk about the Redskins QBs. Dwayne Haskins is the favorite to land the starting job. His first-round status, along with improved play down the stretch, are 2 arguments favoring him. Haskins looked awful in his first few games as a pro. However, the game seemed to slow down for him, and he raised his game as the season went on. After throwing 0 TD pass and 4 interceptions in his first 2 outings, he finished the year with 7 TDs versus 3 picks. His last 2 performances were particularly impressive: a 72% completion rate for 394 passing yards and a 4-0 TD to INT mark. There might be some light at the end of the tunnel. The Redskins let Case Keenum and Colt McCoy go via free agency. To me, McCoy was hopeless. However, I've always felt like Keenum is underappreciated. He has 75 career TD passes and 47 interceptions. And last year, racking up 11 TDs versus 5 picks with such a poor surrounding cast was not bad at all. He signed with the Browns during the offseason. So the new backup QB is Kyle Allen, who played 13 games with the Panthers last year, and he did the exact opposite of Haskins. He got off to a strong start, and then he fell flat on his face. Through his first 4 games, Allen was a true revelation. 7 TD passes and no interception. But during the rest of the season, he posted an embarrassing 10-16 TD to INT mark, and the 7 lost fumbles did not help matters either. Allen was also pretty bad at avoiding pressure. He ended up taking 46 sacks. That's one more aspect of the game where Haskins is better than him. Let's have a chat about the running back position. Averaging 4.3 yards per carry at 34 years old on a bad offense is an unbelievable feat. And that's exactly what Adrian Peterson did last year. Hats off to him for such a nice performance. The current 5th leading rusher of all time has decided to come back for another year. As much as I want him to succeed, I don't expect him to come nearly as close to the 891 rushing yards he obtained last year. Derrius Guice was picked in the 2nd round of the 2018 draft, but he missed his entire rookie season after tearing his ACL in a preseason game. Then he injured his knee in his first NFL game and ended up missing the next 8 meetings. Juice finally displayed nice abilities when he came back on the field. He averaged 5.8 yards per rush, but he suffered another injury in his 4th game back before being placed on injured reserve. So was it just a flash in the pan, or does Juice really have a nice potential? And most importantly, can he finally stay healthy? Hopefully we'll have answers by the end of the 2020 season. The Skins signed Peyton Barber as an insurance policy, but let's make it clear, Barber is not very good. His yards per carry average has dropped in each of his 4 seasons, reaching a career low 3.1 last year with the Tampa Bay Bucks. With Chris Thompson off the team, the new 3rd down back is JD McKissic. He's a nice weapon to have in your arsenal. What about wide receivers? 3rd round rookie Terry McLaurin was one of the few bright spots on offense last year. You have to wonder how he would have done in a more potent offense. Despite subpar QB play all season long, McLaurin came close from clearing the 1,000 receiving yard mark. He caught 58 passes, 7 of which went into the end zone. His future looks bright. The talent level drops off significantly after McLaurin. 6th round rookie Kelvin Harmon was not all that impressive. He played all 16 games but only caught 30 balls and failed to reach the end zone. Undrafted rookie Steven Sims showed more potential. The speedy rookie was inserted into a starting role late last year. He responded with 20 catches and 4 TDs in just 4 games. He has a good shot to become the team's slot receiver. In order to boost the receiving corps a little bit, the Skins signed Cody Latimer, but don't expect huge things from him. He's never caught more than 24 passes in a year. Now I'm excited to see what rookie Antonio Gibson can do in the NFL. The Skins took him early in the 3rd round, even though he's one of the toughest prospects to project. He's the definition of a boom or bust player. He was clearly underutilized at Memphis because he posted mind-boggling numbers, including 7 plays that went 50 yards or more and an average of 15.6 yards per touch. It's not clear whether Gibson is a running back or a wide receiver. The sample size is extremely limited as he only touched the ball 77 times in college. It's time to talk about tight ends. The team has a glaring hole at this position. Vernon Davis announced his retirement after 14 great seasons. He suffered a concussion during last season's 4th game and he never came back. Jordan Reed seemed on track to have an exceptional career, but injuries have completely wrecked it. He had his 7th concussion and it cost him the whole 2019 season. The team released him last February. So who gets the starting nod? Jeremy Sprinkle has the inside track on the job, even though he does not seem like a long-term solution. Sprinkle caught just 7 passes over his first 2 years in the NFL. Now he took over as the starter once Davis and Reed landed on injured reserve, but he still did not do much. Catching 26 passes won't blow anyone's mind, and he never exceeded 36 receiving yards in any game. He also reached the end zone just once all season long. Let's skip to the offensive line position. At center, the team relies on Chase Roullier, a former 6th round pick from the 2017 draft He has done a decent job at the pivot. He is an average player with limited upside. Ereck Flowers has been a bust as a former number 9 overall selection. He performed at slightly above average levels. His asking price was too high for Washington's taste, so he left for Miami. Who will take over as starting left guard with Flowers gone? Well, the competition should be between Wes Martin and Wes Schweitzer, and I believe Schweitzer will ultimately win the battle. He comes in with 3 years of experience while receiving, well, average grade from Pro Football Focus. The team is in good hands at right guard with Brendan Scherff. He's been consistently good in all of his 5 seasons as a pro, since being taken number 5 overall out of Iowa. With Trent Williams holding out the entire 2019 season, the Redskins turned to Donald Penn to fulfill the job. He once was a great player. He played at a high level for 11 seasons, but his last 2 have been more difficult. Morgan Moses takes the right tackle position. He did okay, but nothing more. That's how his past 3 years have gone. Alright, what's the 2020 outlook for the Skins offense? Well, it's no secret that Washington's offense was awful last year. They scored the fewest points in the league. It will be difficult to do worse. The QB play is likely to improve. I did not like what I saw from Dwayne Haskins early on, but he made big leaps down the stretch. I believe there's reason to be optimistic. He's unlikely to light up the scoreboard, but perhaps he can show good promise. At running back, Adrian Peterson is unlikely to play at the same level as last year. In my opinion, Derrius Guice is a dark horse candidate to break out in 2020. There's still a glaring hole at the number 2 wide receiver position. Terry McLaurin is the clear-cut number 1 option, but he would benefit from someone else drawing some attention away from him. The tight end position will once again be a struggle. Jeremy Springle and Logan Thomas are not viable alternatives. The offensive line suffered a blow when the team could not re-sign Ereck Flowers. I'm also worried about having a 37-year-old protecting Haskin's blind side. That's a risky gamble. As mentioned earlier, it's hard to anticipate a regression out of a group that finished dead last the previous year. Is the Redskins' defense likely to improve in comparison to last year? No changes were made on the defensive line and at edge via free agency, but the team picked Chase Young with the 2nd overall selection of this year's draft. Daron, Payne and Montez Sweat have a good shot to elevate their game. As for Ioannidis and Ryan Kerrigan, they are likely to provide good play once again. Things look more bleak at linebacker. To me, there's close to a 0 chance of a breakout season from either John Bostic, Cole Holcomb, Thomas Davis, or Kevin Pierre-Louis. The corner position was revamped. Quinton Dunbar and Josh Norman are out, while Ronald, Darby, and Kendall Fuller are in. It's hard to tell whether that's a net gain or loss. It feels like a wash overall. At safety, I have to admit that Landon Collins could regain his 2016 and 17 form. Replacing Nicholson with Sean Davis is a bit of an upgrade. Last year, Washington allowed the 6th highest number of points to their opponents. I am anticipating a slight upgrade. Will the Washington Redskins win over or under 5 games this year? This is my last of all 32 NFL team previews, which means we are now talking about the team whose return on investment is the highest of all clubs. One more recall about how I addressed this vital question. I simulated each of the 2020 regular season games by following win probabilities for the road and home teams as determined by sportsbook odds, since yes, some bookies have already posted their lines on all 256 games. I wrote a program using the statistical software called R in order to simulate 1 million seasons. At the end, I asked the program to count the number of times the Skins won more than 5 games versus the number of times they ended up winning less than 5 matches. It turns out that the answer produces a ROI, a return on investment, of an astounding 54.3%. Are you kidding me? A bet with a ROI slightly above 50%. That's an amazing bargain. As mentioned in prior videos, the top 10 plays, whose ROI all exceed 24% by the way, are on sale in an exclusive gold package for $500. It's well worth it if you are a fairly big sports investor. Don't forget that I plan to bet more than $150,000 on my top plays, and that definitely includes the Redskins. That shows you how confident I am about those regular season wins picks. A big thank you for following my 32 team previews. They are the result of a lot of hard work, but it's always a pleasure to provide you with great information. My main goal and motivation will always remain to help you maximize your winnings. I always enjoy receiving thank you messages. They fuel me to just keep going and going. I'm Professor MJ, a university statistics professor from Canada. This is your last chance to get the best product I have ever sold. Those 10 picks are rock solid and will make this season even more enjoyable. Get the gold package now and enjoy its great betting tips.